Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to provide a quick overview of the natural medicine business owner applications and focus on a few key spots where we've seen a little confusion. The more complete your application is, the faster we can process it. This video is hoping to help you provide key information to help us process your application. Starting on page 2 of the application, we've compiled a checklist for you to use to make sure that you've filled everything out. We will need you to answer every question on the application honestly, and if it does not apply, put NA or not applicable. This application is for owners of natural medicine businesses and for people who have a financial interest in a natural medicine business. You will need to read and sign an affirmation and consent, a tax check authorization, and a request to release information to our investigators to follow up on your application answers. We require your application fee to accompany your application unless you have a facilitator license from DORA and the license number to put on the application. For folks who apply as a facilitator, your application fee will go towards your compliance fee. If you are conditionally approved, you will need to send your compliance fee before we can fully approve your application. You can pay your fee by check, money order, and credit card. If you're mailing in your application, we can only accept a check or money order. If you're mailing in your application, you will need to send it to us on single-sided 8.5 by 11-inch paper. We must receive your completed application before we will begin processing it. So on to the application itself. Starting on page 4, we start out with questions that may disqualify you from holding a license. If you answer yes to the following questions, we will need some follow-up information. If you answer yes to question 7, please provide details on separate sheets of paper for each felony offense you were arrested and charged for, including official documentation from the court where you appeared. The document should show the final outcome of your case if it was a felony, and it will include whether you were found guilty or not guilty, and what penalty or deferred judgment you received. You do not have to include criminal history where your record has been sealed or expunged. Next, we need to know some personal information about you on page 5. Here at owner's physical address, we need your personal physical address. If your mailing address is different than your personal physical address, please put that in the next section of boxes on page 6. Here on page 6, you'll need to be sure to put in the name of the natural medicine business that you are associating this ownership application with near the top of page 6. Be sure to include the business phone number, business contact name, business physical address, and your signature. All of this information needs to match what you filed with the Secretary of State's office. And finally, select whether this is a new business application or a change of ownership application for an existing business. We will also need a copy of a government or state-issued identification. Next, on page 7, we ask about any other privileged or professional license information that you have held in the last 3 years. We want to know about any licenses from the Department of Revenue or the Department of Regulatory Agencies. Please list the license number along with the type of license. We also ask whether you've ever owned or applied for a natural medicine business license or psilocybin services license in Colorado or any other jurisdiction, mainly Oregon, and whether you've been subject to a denial, surrender, order to show cause, suspension or revocation, or stipulation or settlement regarding that license. If you have, please provide details on a separate sheet of paper. Next, we ask if you are a licensed facilitator, and to include your license number and the type of license. If you provide any services related to natural medicine currently, explain it in the box below. We are not asking if you are planning to provide these services at your business, but if you are doing that right now. And finally, the last 2 questions on page 7 help us determine whether we need to prioritize your application. Please indicate whether you are a veteran and provide a copy of your DD-214. Or if you are a member of a federally recognized tribe, please provide a copy of your Certificate of Degree of Indian Blood, which you can get from the Bureau of Indian Affairs online. Next, on page 8, We need any agreements that the natural medicine business has entered into. This includes a lease, a loan, agreements regarding intellectual property, or management agreements with the natural medicine business. We need to know any amounts loaned to the business, what percentage of ownership this accounts for, and whether there are other financial interests in another natural medicine business. The last 5 pages of the application are documents that you need to review and attest to. On page 9, this document is confirming that you provided truthful and accurate information to the division, and that you understand that later discovery of an omission or misrepresentation could be grounds for disciplinary action against the license. This document is also confirming that you have checked and comply with your local zoning regulations about natural medicine business locations and any other ordinances that may apply in your locality. And finally, this document confirms that no owner who is applying for this license holds more than 5 natural medicine business licenses. Page 10 is an authorization for the division to do a tax check, and page 11 is where you will sign for that authorization. Page 12 is an authorization for the division to receive information in order for us to do our due diligence and investigate the information provided on your application. And page 13 is where you will sign for that. And page 14 is a checklist to confirm that you understand the regulations regarding natural medicine businesses and that you agree to comply with them. Finally, you will need to print your full legal name and sign at the bottom of page 14. That concludes the owner application walkthrough. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to the division at our email address here.